Coming up on Mountain News this morning, parents in Letcher County voiced their concerns over the possibility of Arleigh Boggs Elementary closing. And after receiving multiple complaints, the state auditor's office begins an investigation into the medical cannabis lottery process.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and a happy Friday to you, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this April 18th. It's 5 o'clock this morning, and that means it's time to check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal on this chilly start to our Friday morning. And Megan, I know you were telling me it was actually warmer this morning than it was yesterday morning, which knocked my socks off.
Yeah, it's actually significantly warmer for some cities out there, but yeah, it definitely still feels cold, especially when I left the door this morning. Here's a look at just how much warmer we are than yesterday. Seeing that Monticello is 28 degrees warmer right now compared to this time yesterday. That's the biggest change in the area. Smallest change, 8 degrees warmer for Middlesboro. Let's take a look at those actual temperatures, and we're sitting in the 40s and 50s with Monticello seeing 65 degrees right now, so it's kind of a warm morning, right? Here's a look at the afternoon, though. We'll just continue to see those temperatures increasing to the 80s, so be prepared for some quite warm weather this afternoon. And we'll be mostly sunny for the most part throughout the day. Here's a look at satellite and radar, seeing some clouds moving in and out of the area with cloud cover increasing as we're heading overnight. Here's a look at that day planner. Everything I mentioned, sunny skies in the morning, mostly sunny skies in the afternoon, evening starting to see the cloud cover increasing. High temperatures of the day around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Amelia.
Thanks, Megan. Last night, parents gathered at Arleigh Boggs Elementary voicing their support to keep the school open. The school experienced a decline in students over the past few years. 114 students started this year, but now that number's down to 104. Despite the decline, parents are worried about longer travel times if they are forced to go to another school. Others are concerned about potential bus crashes when driving over mountains like the one last year.
We honestly feel like the decision's already been made, but we have to fight for what we think is in the best interest of our kids on this side of the mountain. Many parents just don't want their kids to cross the mountain, especially after the bus wreck last year.
A school board meeting is set for April 28th for a decision. Parents also started an online petition to keep the school open. One parent says the petition has more than 700 signatures. The state auditor's office is now investigating the Kentucky's Office of Medical Cannabis and the licensed lottery process after Auditor Allison Ball says she received complaints. Madison Carmouche talked to a farmer who says he got in contact with the state auditor's office about the process.
So we just want answers.
For co-founder of Kentucky Farmed, Michael Adair, the medical cannabis industry seemed like the next logical step after growing hemp for several years. So when his investor reached out to him about the Kentucky Office of Medical Cannabis lottery, the process began.
We have the space. We have just over 5 acres of greenhouses in Paris, and so they wanted to go for cultivation of medical cannabis.
Adair says he and other farmers he knows began growing hemp because they believed this would offer them priority in Kentucky's medical cannabis sector.
And I know that they can't give everyone a license or whatever, obviously, and play favoritism in a sense, but at the same time, don't tell people one thing, because the Kentucky hemp farmers and just farmers in general, people feel like they were bait and switch.
Once he learned a majority of cultivators awarded licenses were not based in the Commonwealth, that's when Adair says he started his own research, which he later presented to Kentucky's Attorney General, Auditor, and Office of Medical Cannabis offices.
And I'm not mad at the other people. There's plenty of people that game the system. They game the system. We're upset that the administration, the Office of Medical Cannabis, allowed it to happen.
Adair says he believes the lack of checks in the lottery system aided in creating businesses that are able to cultivate, process, and own a dispensary. In Lexington, Madison Carmouche, WKYT.
Yesterday, Governor Andy Beshear responded to the audit. He says throughout the entire process, they've been committed to transparency, which is why the lottery process was streamed live. The governor says no one filed a legal claim challenging Kentucky's medical cannabis laws or the Office of Medical Cannabis regulations. And he says those coming forward with concerns went through the full process and did not complain until after not being selected in the lottery. Governor Andy Beshear also hosted a Team Kentucky briefing yesterday. He says they are still waiting for President Donald Trump's approval of a disaster declaration for recent storm damage. If the president signs it, more than a dozen counties will be able to get financial assistance for recovery efforts. Governor Beshear says it was done that way to get help to the hardest hit areas as soon as possible.
But what we've learned is the disaster declarations are typically issued faster, and it's a better process to take some of the most heavily impacted that we have the most information on right now and go ahead and get the disaster declaration. And then we add other counties and other areas to it. It's how we've done each of the past 5 or 6 declarations. So if your county's not listed on that first group, we're still working for you. This is just the process we've worked through each and every time.
The governor says 142 lives were saved and almost 300 evacuations completed by the Urban Reach and Rescue teams. All the teams have since gone home. UK Athletics and the Hickman Holler Appalachian Relief Fund are partnering to bring relief to victims of the recent flooding. They will collect donated relief supplies outside Kroger Field ahead of Tyler Childers' On the Road tour stop in Lexington. Donations will be collected Saturday afternoon at Gate 1 and Gate 9 from 3:30 until 8. The show begins Saturday night at 6:30. A man who was the oldest living survivor of Pearl Harbor has been laid to rest in Winchester. Vaughn Drake Jr. served in the Army Corps of Engineers during World War II and was stationed in Oahu during the attack. The UK alum was proud of his Kentucky roots. He spent his civilian career connecting communities through his work as an engineer for a telephone company. His son Sam cherishes his service to his country.
They're part of the greatest generation because, you know, World War II, after World War II, people come together and they built this country to what, you know, to what it is today.
Drake lived to be 106 years old as of last year. There were around 700 World War II vets living in Kentucky. Thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Still to come, home ownership is still a vital part of the American dream, but many people are finding it impossible as prices go up.
And will rain impact your Easter plans? I'll have that answer coming up.